Welcome to the Decondition Academy podcast. I'm your host, Jen Rambala. So we'll start off with the big question of who am I, which is very interesting. So from the perspective of human design, this is definitely something that has always not necessarily been a challenge for me, but based off of like who I'm around and what I'm doing, I share different sides of me. And so through this podcast, I want to be able to share all of it so you can kind of see the wide scope and the range of all of the things that I have done. Backtrack to before I had children. I was a high school teacher and also got my master's in school counseling. And shortly after that, I was 24 when we decided to have kids, and then I became a stay-at-home mom. I am a mom of two, my son Peter, my daughter Sophia. At the time right now of this recording, my son is 11, Sophia is 9. I am Slovakian, and so staying at home in Europe is actually very common. It's just totally different than here in the United States. In Slovakia, people get 3 years of maternity leave, and so I just sort of fell into that role. And so while yes, I do have a master's degree and also a degree in health, I'm not teaching in a school, but what I do use is all of the psychology and all of that stuff into what I do now. And so when I first became a mom, that was the role that I fell into. I did get lost in motherhood. I definitely also struggled with postpartum depression. I didn't realize it at the time. And after a year of, the mom role, I realized that there was still something within me that was really missing. And it was sort of this, what about me? Like, what about the time for me? What do I actually love to do that I've stopped doing? And it was interesting because I had a friend at the time who was the one who pointed this out to me. And she was like, well, what are your hobbies? And I realized that after I became a mom, there was so much of myself and my life that I gave up to become a mom. And one of the things that I loved doing was actually painting my nails. And I stopped painting my nails. And this was like the biggest aha moment for me of, holy shit, I need to go paint my nails. I remember hanging up the phone and being like, I'm going to literally go and paint my nails right now. And I did. And that was like actually the way that my journey began. It was something as simple as that aha moment of, my nails aren't painted right now. That is something I always used to do and love. I became a mom. I stopped caring about myself in a way because I put all of my effort into my son at the time. So anyways, moving forward, there was always this part of me that was like, what about me? Fast track into Sophia, once she was born, same thing, kind of doing the whole mom thing, all of the stuff, but still there was something within me that was just missing. And I remember at the time, how many years ago this was, there was a lot of like network marketing going around. And I remember a friend of mine giving me this opportunity saying, I have all these people and I can help you build this thing and we're gonna, we could do it together. And so I decided, okay, you know what? I would love to have a little bit of extra income. That was the other thing, right? You become a mom and you put aside everything. It was even, my career, the income, and I wanted to contribute to my family. So anyways, jumped into network marketing. Horrible experience. It just did not, it wasn't what I expected. It was promises that weren't kept. And so anyways, I wound up, yes, making a little bit of money, but it wasn't the right company, wasn't the right fit. Then I wound up joining another network marketing company. And this one was for essential oils. But the way that I started was really wanting to incorporate more natural solutions into my life and for my kids. At the time, I was struggling with a lot of anxiety. And so when I heard that specific oils could help with anxiety, I started to think to myself, like if I could use it for myself, I wonder if I could use it for my kids. And so I jumped in with the product first, not thinking about a business opportunity. I just wanted to help myself. I wanted to help my family. And I know that they're effective, and they work, right? I've heard the testimonial. So anyways, dove straight into that. I loved it. And at the time, I don't remember exactly how Sophia, actually, she was around 6 months old, and my brother was getting married, and I wanted to lose a little bit of that postpartum weight. And so the question that I asked myself was, I wonder if there are oils for that. Yes, there were. And so I started this little concoction, and I wound up actually losing a significant amount of weight because I started targeting my metabolism and really working on the natural solutions that would help my body. When I wound up going to Europe that summer, I had so many people asking me like, "Oh my gosh, you look so amazing. Like, what are you doing?" And I naturally just started sharing what I was doing and realized, "Oh my goodness, I am now able to make a little bit of income with this." So I started selling the essential oils, started doing that. It was retail, probably not the most effective way to do it. And then when I got back to the States, I decided to really look at the compensation plan, figure out how I can maximize it. And I did. I wound up like within a year shooting up to the top 5% of the company. I have thousands of customers on my network marketing team, and it was absolutely phenomenal. Little did I know that network marketing opportunity would be the stepping stone to entrepreneurship. I love network marketing, okay? Let's just clear the air in terms of that. Even though I had a really bad experience when I first started getting into it, it is something that I truly feel is phenomenal. It's an additional way to create income. And also, there are specific things that you need to look at when you step into network marketing. Do I think that there are things that happen in specific companies or with certain people that don't know how to sell in a way that feels aligned? Yes. Do I feel like there is like this bro marketing sometimes and cold messaging that gives people kind of a shitty feeling when they're being sold to? Yes. And also, that's why I'm here, because I know that there's a different way to be able to sell, to launch things, to talk about a product that you love, right? It would be the same way as if you were, you went to a restaurant, you loved it, and then you recommend it to a friend. That's how easy sales can be. But we start getting in our head about it. We start overthinking and overcomplicating because we're so attached to the sale and to the result. That might be a separate podcast for another time. But back to the whole network marketing journey and the reason why I feel that this is such a stepping stone for entrepreneurship. And for me, it was because I noticed that so many people inside of network marketing and inside of my team, they were doing all of the same things, right? Like we're taught, be duplicatable. You need to duplicate yourself. And I always called bullshit on that. I was always somebody that was like, this doesn't make sense. And yet I still followed what other people were doing. And that to me was the lesson that I needed at the time. It was actually following other people and trying to be the good girl and listen to the rules. That was the experience that I needed in order to break free. And so once human design was introduced to me, I mean, this was about 8 years ago, it catapulted me into a totally different healing journey. So through network marketing, I started really understanding my human design. I started experimenting with it. And then I started coaching people on the side. I started seeing what was not working inside of network marketing. And I started having a lot of people come to me being like, show me your ways. How do you do this? How does this work? And so I started looking at human design and how we can really integrate it into what we were doing with network marketing. And it was working. It was actually phenomenal. And I loved it. And there was also a little ping there to start my own coaching business, but I didn't have the courage to do it at that time. And so I just stayed. I stayed doing my own thing in network marketing. And it was absolutely a phenomenal journey. I still to this day have my network marketing business and it creates passive income for me, which is wonderful, but I'm not actively building it as I was, how many years ago? I stopped about 4 years ago. So throughout the entire journey of network marketing, and one of the things, there was one pivotal moment that I want to share with you. It was when I crossed the stage in front of thousands of people to be celebrated for an accomplishment, which was hitting a specific rank. And I remember it felt so incredible to go up on that stage. But when I came back to my seat, I had somebody who was in my upline ask me this question. And she asked me, what was like your biggest takeaway? And I didn't have an answer for her right there, but I remember sitting down and reflecting on it. And the answer that I came up with was, I felt so empty. And I realized that I didn't want to do it alone. What I built was built from myself. It was built with this, I'm going to go and reach and achieve this goal and nobody's going to stop me. And I realize that a lot of the things now that I teach, right, are the things that I learned throughout my journey. There were things like, did I do cold messaging? You bet I fucking did. And did I learn that that's not the way to fucking do business? Absolutely, right? It doesn't work for everybody. And so I did all of the things that you typically shouldn't do. And that was a part of my experience. And yes, did I have success doing it? I did. But it felt empty to me. It didn't feel aligned. The energetics weren't there. And so that's where I knew I needed to shift. I could have continued, right, doing things because I was getting results. But in my body, something felt off. As I continued through my journey, eventually in 2021, this was the pivotal point inside of probably my entire life, was when my dad tragically passed. And I realized when I left that hospital room, there was this energy of, what am I waiting for? Like, what are you waiting for? I wanted to start my own coaching business. I wanted to sort of branch out of network marketing, keep everything that I've created, but also do my own thing, create my own brand. And I remember when I shared this with people, they told me that I should wait, that it didn't make sense to do that right now, that I should wait until I hit a higher rank, that I should wait until I have the audience built, that I should wait until, whatever. And I didn't. I followed what my gut was telling me, which was just fucking get started. Just take the next step. And so I did. And I remember I hired a VA first of all, because I needed help with stuff, with graphics and all of the things. And I created my first ever offer, which was a human design in your business boot camp. It was a 5-day event. I had like almost 50 people join it. It was absolutely phenomenal. And this was the start of my journey. I had, after that, like a $3,000 launch, with it moving into a next program. And everything that I did was also because I had hired support. So I did have a coach who was helping me alongside, and she had given me a little bit of structure. And it was interesting because when you start to make decisions in your life and, really timeline jump, that's what we like to call it, things start to align. Things that you would not even think about, right? So I had posted in a couple of different groups, hey, I'm looking for somebody who has branched out of network marketing, has kept their network marketing business, but created their own brand. And within a day, I had a couple people, right, comment on that post. And intuitively, I can kind of feel into the energy, did a little bit of research, kind of like looking at people's profiles and all that stuff. And I found somebody who, perfect. Let's do it. Hopped on a call, and I wound up asking her just out of the blue. I was like, what was the company that you were with? It was the same company that I was with in network marketing. And so it completely shifted everything for me. So I had a basic framework. We did it. I followed everything. And it was something that really catapulted me into that next phase of entrepreneurship, which was really about bringing my passions to profit and doing what I love, right? As we were saying, like, this is a journey. If you're a mom and an entrepreneur, it's about creating balance in your life, juggling mom life, business, and then also your personal life, like your time. What is the time that you do for you outside of business, outside of mom life? And so balancing all of that. So anyways, I wound up branching off out of my network marketing business into my coaching business. And here we are today. And so much has transformed over this time. And now I am, I have a membership platform, the Decondition Academy. I've created so many different courses and masterclasses, and I've become a breathwork facilitator during this time. That was one thing that I also learned when I did branch out into my own coaching business. I was teaching all of the human design information, and something that's really important to me is, if you are completely consuming information and not taking action, it's just going to create clutter and chaos in your mind. And I am definitely somebody who is a huge advocate for integration. It's not about what you know, it's about what you do with what you know. And that's just how you're going to create shifts and changes inside of your life and inside of your business, right? I believe that if your external world is not a reflection of what you want to see, then it's time to go to the mirror, look inside and be like, okay, what do I have to shift inside? With the course that I had originally created, it was called Your Inner Compass. And what it was about was going through all of the human design centers. We were talking about doing different integration, all different kinds of practices. But one thing was missing, and it was this deeper embodiment. And so that's when I did wind up branching out, and I had asked, a friend of mine, hey, do we want to do a collab? I can do a human design thing. Why don't you come in and you can do breathwork. And so I started off with a collaboration. Fast forward, it then turned into a completely different program. We launched other things. It was absolutely phenomenal. And within a year, I think the program that we created together generated over $24,000, which was absolutely phenomenal. It was called the Playground. We launched that together. And it was a really, really beautiful experience. Human design, if you're not familiar with what human design is, pretty much it's a combination of a bunch of different things like astrology, the chakra system, bunch of different, right? All of that kind of stuff. And really what it's used for, it's like your soul blueprint. When you're born, it's like you have a clear slate. And then through our life, right, we become conditioned. We become programmed. Parents, siblings, the school system, the government, anybody who has an influence over you, right, starts to shift your morals, your values, your beliefs, and how you operate. If you feel, right, that people pleaser syndrome, if you abandon yourself for the comfort of other people, right, if you do things that aren't really in alignment with how your body naturally operates, right, we want to get back to your blueprint. A lot of us are operating, especially in business, from learned behavior. The body keeps score. Everything is embedded within us. We just have to learn how to trust ourselves again. Along the way, we've lost that self-trust, right? Self-trust muscle. It's almost like building a muscle again, right? That's why when we look for external validation, we're trying to see how somebody else is doing something. And in our mind, it makes us feel good. And so human design is really about getting back into our body. So when I even say I help entrepreneurs grow a body-based business, that's what I mean. You can, yes, feed your mind what it needs. Your mind is always going to be looking for the right way to do things. But a lot of the times we say yes to things, it feels off, and it's like, why is this happening? So when you bring human design into play, you can look at that and realize that, oh my gosh, I've been operating from the shoulds. I've been operating from the conditioning. I've been operating from the shadow. So this we call your not self. It's your not self theme. And when we look at human design, there's so many different components to this, but one of the biggest pieces is your signature theme. So we have 5 energy types, right? Manifestors, reflectors, projectors, manifesting generators, and generators. And typically what happens, each one of these has a signature theme. And so when you're feeling that signature theme, the peace, the satisfaction, the surprise, the delight, the success, you're in alignment with your body, with who you are, with your blueprint. When you are feeling your not self theme, the frustration, the bitterness, the anger, that resentment, right? That is a sign and a guiding post of just something's out of alignment. Something is not right. And this is your opportunity, simply put, to use human design in one of the easiest ways to just pivot. That's your sign. And then you can dive deeper into your chart. There's so many different elements. One of the things that that's my superpower, is simplifying the hell out of human design so you can take actionable steps with the information and shift right away and apply it inside of your business. It is something that comes super natural to me. I've taken a 1.5 year long training in human design, and not only that, it's something that I integrate every single day in my life, in my business, with my kids. Every single launch that I've done throughout my entire business has been from a place of embodiment through my human design, through the trial and error, looking at what works, what doesn't work. And so that's the other piece to human design that's so important, is it's about experimentation. Ultimately, it's you building self-trust all over again with yourself. It's this relationship that you get to look within, and really, it's not about following another rule book. That's another thing that I want to make sure that you understand, right? You don't get your human design and then condition yourself more, feeling like you are doing something wrong if you're not following it, right? This is really about tuning into your body's wisdom, feeling into the energy, feeling into, right, the signature theme and the not self theme, and just allowing that to be the guide for you as you navigate things in business. And so I love being able to bring this to my clients and just to the world for people to understand that it doesn't have to be so complicated. It can actually be simple. And it's what I go through inside of my membership. It's what I go through pretty much in all of the things that I do. The human design component has been such a game changer. If you're looking for more of a way to, go through all the complicated stuff with it, I'm not your person. I'm here to simplify it for you. I'm here for you to understand that you can get by with just the basics and it completely transform your life. You don't have to know the conscious and the subconscious and your sun and the moon and all of these things and what gate you're in. When you work with me, when you come into my space, we go basics, and even the basics sometimes can feel like a lot. So in terms of my breathwork journey, this is very interesting. So for most of my life, I have always had people tell me, like, you need to breathe. You need to breathe. I have been diagnosed with ADHD, and the reason why I realized this and how I realized it was through breathwork. And so when my dad had passed, there was an opportunity for this free breathwork that came up. A friend of mine had messaged me and was like, hey, I'm working for this chick, really cool, you would love it, you should join it. Great. So it kind of worked out. She was doing a free thing and I wound up joining. It was something I've never really experienced before, actually, at all. I realized, like, holy crap, like, what is this? This was the most incredible experience because for the first time in probably my entire life, I actually got out of my head. And I never knew what that actually felt like. I've always been told, like I said, breathe, try meditation, try to ground yourself, try to calm. I didn't know, like it just never worked for me. And this breath work was different. And it was an active form of meditation. And it completely shifted everything for me. So there was another program that she wound up launching after this. It was called Liberate Your Body. It was a 4-month commitment with breathwork every single week. 90 minutes, meeting with a group. Holy shit. That completely transformed my entire healing journey because it was, first of all, just a commitment to myself and realizing that how many of us don't show up for what we really want, right? And doing this while also having 2 kids, being committed to my personal journey, my spiritual journey, the connection with myself, and also knowing that that was building that self-trust muscle that I was talking about, right? Knowing that in my body, I could feel that this was a full body fuck yes, that I need to do this for myself. I get to do this for myself. And I chose that. I chose to be a yes to myself. And I showed up every single week live for these breathworks. After that, there was a certification program that came out of it. And I remember being like, oh, is this the moment? Am I supposed to now get certified in breathwork? And I was a hell no to that. I was like, no, I do not need to go down this rabbit hole of becoming certified for this at all. Definitely not. But I was interested in what the program contained in terms of really learning more about myself because of the way that everything was structured. So I wound up hopping on a call with Lydia, who is the owner, and decided that this was actually something I really wanted to do. Little did I know it was really actually a certification and that I would become a breathwork facilitator, but I joined with the intention of it being more for my own personal evolution, my personal healing, being in a space connected to others that wanted to do the same thing and really deepen the connection with my body, with myself, and see what happens through that. So fast forward, this program was an entire year. I wound up becoming certified in breathwork, and it was, once again, the most powerful thing. And this was the missing link that I was talking about in terms of embodiment with human design. And so now that's what I integrate. I have the human design component, and I have the breath work, and together it is so powerful. The human design part is great because it gives a little bit of information for your mind to grasp, right? And then we have the breath work component, which is for you to be able to get out of your head and into your heart, right, into your body, bypassing the thinking mind, landing in your body, being able to process the emotions that are coming up, being able to release emotions that are stuck and stored in the body, right? Especially with traumatic experiences and trauma that we hold. Breathwork is a powerful way to do this because you bypass that thinking mind, you get into your body, into your heart, you get connected. The ego leaves, the chatter leaves. That's how you do this work. That's why it's so powerful. That's what breathwork does. It eliminates that voice. So you land in your body, you access such a level of inner clarity and peace, and you will always receive exactly what you're meant to in a breathwork session, which is why it is so phenomenal. You can't go in with an expectation. You can have an intention. It's very different than an expectation. You just release the expectations, you land in your body, and you're going to receive exactly what it is that you're meant to. The intention of this podcast and why I've always wanted to create a podcast is because I do have so much to share and I want it all in one place. I like bite-sized things. I don't listen to 1, 2 hour, 3 hour podcasts. I am a busy mom of 2 kids, taking care of my household, bringing my passions to profit, growing a business, right? Busy entrepreneur. I don't have time for all of those things. I would love to, but realistically, I have to figure out what is it that I want to actually prioritize? And so I know what it's like to be busy, and when you have bite-size pieces of content that are easy to digest, easy to consume, and that can move you forward, that's what I love. That's something that I am about, and that's what I want to create, is something that is going to catapult you into the next version of yourself, something that is going to activate you, something that will initiate you, that will give you that clarity to be able to move forward, and just for you to be able to build your self-trust a little bit more. I think that in this world, one of the things that everybody is craving is community and connection. And so I do feel that through a podcast, I can reach more of you, I can reach more people, right? And really have the impact that I desire, not only for me, but for you and just for the world. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next episode. And as always, take what resonates and leave the rest. We're not here on, there's no hierarchy here. And that's just something super important for me to just remind you of. We're all in this together, and you are your own guru in this entire journey. I'm just here to help you see that. So see you in the next episode. I'm Jen Rambala.